primitive they are.
Faster.
I don't fool these creatures. I try to be like them. I replicate their looks and gestures, but...
Stop.
Tales from the Darkside goes indie with going native. What does it mean to be a person? Who are we? Why do we feel the way that we feel? Why do we always desire love, but then push it away at the last moment? Our hands throbbing with indecision, our pulse pounding with collectivism. Yeah, Going Native is an interesting episode. There's no other episodes like this where they shoot it as a indie college student film. There's some good parts about this episode, but as a whole, it leaves you a bit unsatisfied, like most indie films. Interesting shots occasionally, sometimes some bright moments of introspection that Hollywood movies wouldn't do, but overall, the thing just doesn't come together because they're just throwing things at the wall. And that's what Going Native is. When you throw things at the wall, sometimes you go, wow, that made an MC Escher painting. And sometimes you throw things at the wall and it looks like a little kid throwing his salad up in the air and it looks like crap. So the story that I can glean from this is that Claire is an emotionless alien from an unknown planet who's come to Earth to understand the way that humans behave. And she does this by taking photographs. Claire is played by Kim Grest, who puts on a very emotional performance. She was in Homeward Bound, played the character Laura, and Molly in Manhunter. But none of that matters because she was in the monster series we covered before. In Season 2, Episode 23 of the follow-up series Monsters, where she played character Sarah in the episode The Bargain, a lowly housekeeper who gets a real hot makeover. And you get a little bit of everything in this episode. We have a very Terminator 2 sullen voiceover to let you know I've come to this Earth to discover what makes humans humans. A lot of nice photographs that she plays through this slideshow presentation. And then we get the throwing at the wall that doesn't work. Throwing at the wall where they show the pictures, that works. The other one, where she goes to this therapy group and they decide to, and I'll just show it for a second, have this blinding white light that blares at you. This is some kind of cult descending from heaven. And this seems to be some type of anger therapy group where people hit pillows talking about how their father mistreated them. And she's going there to understand human emotions. And she's an alien. She doesn't understand why humans get emotional and want to hit pillows. And I don't understand why the set designers decided to have this blinding light blaring at us every time it shoots at this therapy session. So we get sections with her showing her photography. That's interesting. The therapy sessions, I don't like. And then they throw in a few whirlwind romances where we learn that she's starting to feel for some of these men that she's going on dates with. And it just gets too convoluted. Switching from voiceover to flashing lights, to her going on a date, to her breaking up with this guy, to her going on a date with another guy. It's a higher budget than we mostly see. Thought and care was put into this episode, which you can't say about some of the others. Where I jokingly say the director just looks like he put the camera on the ground and just let it run for 22 minutes. But it's just trying to do too much and becomes overwrought. And there are instances that I think are really great, and then instances that I just facepalm and start laughing. And that's not what you want with an episode. You want to have emotions go up and down, but never start actually laughing at the episode or going, oh, why? I have to close my eyes on this part. And I was interested to see who the director of this episode was. Because I thought either this is going to be a guy who went to film school and is just self-masturbating, thinking that he's great in Apocalypse Now, or this is a guy who actually has a lot of ideas that then develop them later. Well, unfortunately, it was the first one. It was directed by Andrew Weiner, and this is the only thing he's ever directed. He's done nothing else. And looking at the reviews of this episode and the fact that it has a 5.1 on IMDb, which even for Tales from the Darkside is really low, seems like a lot of people didn't like this episode. But I think it's an interesting curiosity. She does then become emotional and understands why humans feel after going to these therapy sessions, looking at the photographs, and specifically having relationships with men, and begins to hit the pillow in the therapy session herself, letting out all her anger at something. And it just ends there. We're led to believe that she's not going to be able to go back to her alien planet, though we never see her alien form or exactly what planet she's from. And I think this one just sacrifices weirdness for story, and really thinks that it's a lot deeper than it really is. But I wouldn't say this is a terrible episode. I am going to give it a 5 out of 10. just because I've been begging for the series to do something different, and it does, so I don't want to punish them for that. I think the therapy sessions were unnecessary. They could have shown her understanding emotions by just dating, which is what they were doing before, or having her witness some type of crime so she could see different type of passions. But just having it expressed in these therapy sessions, I think is unenjoyable to watch. So going native is an interesting curiosity. Let's see what the people have to say. This person gave it a 4 out of 10. Alien joins a therapy group, ... Next. Going native, episode 17 of season 4 Tales from the Darkside, is an odd little non-eventer. Yes, the events are missing in action. The story, if you can call it that, sees an alien visiting Earth to learn more about the human race, and she joins a therapy group. Before long, she finds mankind is starting to rub off on her. While I appreciate this story as something more than usual obvious nonsense found in these shows, while it has an intriguing idea, the premise is poor. There is no incident or action to propel the story. Yeah, that's why I was saying I think she should witness a murder or something like that. She should see different types of human emotions besides just people hitting pillows. Making this a mood piece more than anything else, the director succeeds in conjuring up a weird atmosphere, but for the most part, this is a dud with no proper story to act as its backbone. This does remind me a bit of the Monsters episode Perchance to Dream. That one had really nice effects, but it also had a story that you could follow as well, where they go into this dream world, and the character has to fight his way out of it. I also didn't find any other characters engaging. Kim Grest herself did a decent job, but none of the other ancillary characters of the therapy group we really learned much about. Interestingly, Alison Sweeney is apparently one of the people in the therapy group. And her relationships, they didn't really focus on one relationship. She has 2 of them. You don't really learn enough about the other person. 8 out of 10. Avant-garde episode that doesn't fit neatly within the series. Going native is not your typical Darkside entry. It gives you the feeling that it was filmed by a college cinema class. Everybody's saying that. That's exactly what you're going to get. A director who just goes, wow, look at this. I can put it on the floor. I can put it on the ceiling. I can have quick cuts for no reason. As the visual elements of the episode are very striking, a very human-looking alien, Claire, I kind of want to see her alien form. Is it like Species? Partakes in therapy sessions with a group of assorted individuals. Aghast, the humans are forced to relive their tortured past. Case in point, John Apri whacks violently at a pillow with a battering type of club as he blames his failed marriage for the miserable life he's in. Claire's mission is simply to observe the humans. An alien like her finds these things called emotions very disturbing. Next up is an episode that we've been missing. It's Hush. And it plays out in real time where a babysitter is babysitting a young boy and he makes a killer vacuum machine and they get chased by this vacuum machine the entire episode. It's the type of action we actually need in Tales from the Darkside, even if the monster is a bit underwhelming. So Hush is pretty cool. We'll only have 3 more episodes left of Tales from the Darkside, but we'll also cover the 2 bonus episodes that are on the DVD that were never released for television. Akaba's Daughter and Attic Suite, so technically 5 more. Check out our playlist for all episodes of Tales from the Darkside. We're covering all 90, well I guess 92, with additional with the unaired episodes. Monsters, we finished. Fear Itself, we finished. Black Mirror, Mystery Science Theater 3000, Cowboy Bebop, Best Shop of Horrors. Thanks a lot.